Hello and welcome to another Fridays with Friends. I'm Jack Cleghorn, choirmaster and organist in St. Paul's. Thank you for joining us today. Today's episode will actually be in two parts, so we'll have one today and one in a couple of weeks. And we're going to listen to Vaughan Williams' 4 hymns. It's a song cycle of 4 hymns for tenor, piano, and viola. Now, Vaughan Williams also scored it for a string quartet where he took the string parts out of the piano reduction, but it still hasn't been published, although it is around and in his own handwriting. So Vaughan Williams, tremendous and prolific English composer, born in 1872, died in 1958. He was from a pretty prominent family. His father was a vicar and his mother was a relative of Charles Darwin. His father died rather abruptly when he was little, so the family picked up and moved to his mother's home in Surrey. Prior to that, he was born in Down Ampney, which you might recognize from the hymn tune, Come Down, O Love Divine. Vaughan Williams showed musical abilities from an early age. He started piano at 5, but he really didn't like it, so he switched to violin. And though Vaughan Williams had that sort of innate talent, he didn't think he had enough of it to pursue it professionally. Obviously, that's not the case. He wrote over nine symphonies over 60 years, operas, sacred music, chamber music, and everything in between. Vaughan Williams' level of difficulty in his music is also varied because he believed that music should be accessible to everyone. Also, he did amazing things for the revival and preservation of English folk songs. He would later compile a book of them. And a lot of his music was influenced by the Tudor style as well as the English folk songs. Now, in 1890, he went to study at the Royal College of Music with Perry, but because of his social status, he was really expected to pursue a classical education. So he ended up going to Cambridge, but would ultimately return back to Royal College in 3 or 4 years, and then after the war would end up teaching there. But we'll talk more about that next week. Perry was gone by the time that Vaughan Williams went back to Royal College after his stint at Cambridge, and Stanford was there at that point. And Stanford and Vaughan Williams had an affectionate but stormy relationship. Stanford recognized the talent that Vaughan Williams had, but was increasingly conservative in his compositional style as he got older. Vaughan Williams' tonal ideas, his style, he was a late bloomer. It wasn't until he started to study with Ravel in 1907, 1908, that he really started to develop his style to break away from that European tradition that we know of, like Bach and Handel and Mozart, and the styles that you study when becoming a composer. And in fact, Ravel said that Vaughan Williams was my only pupil who does not write my music. And Vaughan Williams also had 2 great influences in his life, World War I and then his second wife, Ursula Wood. But we'll dive into that a little more in our next episode. So today you have the 4 hymns, and Vaughan Williams was a voracious reader, loved all things literature, poetry, and everything in between. And so he selected 4 different authors for each movement. So the first movement that we'll encounter is Lord, Come Away, and it is by Jeremy Taylor, who lived in the early 1600s. He was the chaplain of Charles I, and so naturally he was politically suspect and was in and out of exile his entire life, but was also considered the Shakespeare's of the divine. And then the second movement, Who Is This Fair One, is written by Isaac Watts, and you might recognize his name because he's the godfather of English hymnody, with over 750 hymns out there, and many of which we still sing today. So we hope you enjoy the first 2 movements of 4 hymns, sung by Doug Sperlin, viola, Josquin Larson, and me on the piano. Enjoy.
With longing COMÉ.